Hello, this is Austin Kruzich reporting for Channel 5 News, and we are here to bring you a special report about Dmitry Mendeleev. What is it again? Dmitry Mendeleev on his latest discovery, the periodic table, which, again, I do not know about. So, I'm going to have him tell you guys about it. Dmitry, here's to you. Hello, my name is Dmitry Mendeleev, and I am here to tell you about the periodic table that I have just created, which is proudly worn in this shirt that I wear. So, the reason that I call it my periodic table is that I realized that elements, similar properties occur every 8 elements, and back in my time, it was actually thought to be 7, but the non-reactive noble gases over here had yet to be discovered. So, I thought that the alkyl metals over here would react to this row over here, and I noticed that, sodium reacted with chlorine very well, and so I thought it was because of their atomic radius, which is the amount of distance from the atom's nucleus to an atom's outer shell. And as each row, with each row, there's one more outer shell. So with here it's 1 shell, 2 shell, 3 shell, goes on forever. Not forever. But, so sodium and chlorine, as I was talking about earlier, react very well because one is missing 1 atom and 1 has only 1 atom, and so they can't wait to react and make a new substance, which, as we know today, is salt, the yummy substance that we put on our food. And so also you might be wondering what an element is. So an element is a substance that cannot be broken down into simpler substances like gold, silver, or copper. And so I have categorized all my elements on my periodic table by their atomic number, which is the little number thing that you can sometimes see in the corner of one of these elements. And so, just like gold's number is 79, mercury's number is 80, hydrogen's is 1. And so that is categorized by how many protons is in an atom's nucleus, the central part of the atom. And so there's 3 parts to an atom: protons, neutrons, and electrons. And so the atom's protons have to have neutrons in with the nucleus so that they don't rip the atom apart, so that there can be gold or mercury or hydrogen. So, yeah. So, I guess I should start out from where I came from, I guess. I'll tell you a little bit about me first. So, I guess I was born in Siberia, and when I was 12, my father died. Very hard times. And he left me and my family of over 10 brothers and sisters fatherless. And so my mom, she decided to open this abandoned glassworking shop. That didn't go out so smoothly. A year later, it burned down. But my mom knew my potential. She knew that I had a keen scientific mind. And so she decided to take me to an institute in, where was it? It was St. Petersburg. No, it was Moscow. And so, in Moscow, she pleaded to let me go to school, and they denied her. And so she rode all the way to St. Petersburg, where my father graduated as a scientist, and they let me in. Probably because my father was like the big cheese. And so, yeah, and from there, I studied all the known elements that were available then, and learned all their properties, and then I sort of found out what all the elements were about and how to categorize them into a table like this. And yeah, it was, I guess, pretty fun. And get this, once a French guy, he discovered a new element, but in my periodic table, I had made gaps where certain elements were supposed to be. And so when this French guy, when he found this new element, and he said that it was in the place where one of my elements was supposed to be, but it didn't match any of the properties that my element was supposed to have, I denied him. And you know what? I was right. Ha 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 ha. And so yeah, and then afterwards, I never got a Nobel Prize because Nobel Prizes weren't invented yet. So yeah, I would have gotten a Nobel Prize, but you know, I'm too good for those. And so guess what? I got my own element named after me. Element 101, Mendelevium. Oh yeah. And that was a very big honor back then because now only 15 people have an element named after them. And that is pretty cool. But even though my element isn't naturally occurring, in fact, it has a half-life of only like 3 seconds, and then it splits into a simpler particle. But, okay. So, yeah. I guess back to you, Austin. Thank you, Mr. Mendeleev. It was great learning about the atomic weights and atomic radiuses of all the elements on your periodic table. And next, we have a breaking news report about a man named Henrik Brand, who has been the first man to isolate an element called phosphorus. Phosphorus. Oh my goodness, I do not know. Okay, we're just gonna have to ask him about that, won't we? Hello, my name is Henrik Brand, and I am the first discoverer of phosphorus. And you might be wondering how I did that. Well, just like every scientist at the time, I was trying to extract gold from the human body. And as we now know, that was kind of pointless. So, I used the only way that I thought was, that I thought would work. My urine. I know, stupid. And so, I collected a bunch of urine samples, mostly mine, and boiled them down to I boiled them down to a thick paste, and then heated the paste to a very, very, very high temperature. And then the paste began to like pop and boom, 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 pop, pop. And then I found a new element, and it was phosphorus. And I'm just like, oh, well look, I have a new element. I'm gonna call it phosphorus. I would have called it something way cooler. So someone changed it, I think. But yeah, I'm still thebomb.com at discovering new elements. Thanks, Austin. Hey, Henrik Brand and I are wearing the same outfit. Would y'all look at that? So, before we cut off this special broadcast of newsy stuff, I thought I'd show you some common household items that have the elements in them. So, I have this bowl from my house, and if you can see the shiny coating on it, you can kind of see, I don't know, but back in the 19th centuries, the 20th century, I guess, it used to be coated with uranium, and so these dishes used to be radioactive. And yeah, many of the batteries we have at home, some have lithium in them. Some even used to have mercury in them, which is like the coolest element to play with because it's one of the only few elements that's a liquid at a room temperature. Oh yeah. And let's see, bismuth. Pepto-Bismol? Bismuth is in Pepto-Bismol. And think of that the next time you drink Pepto-Bismol. And bromine, Mountain Dew. Bromine is one of the ingredients in Mountain Dew. So also think of that the next time you drink Mountain Dew, because I'm sure I will, because I love Mountain Dew. So yeah, this concludes our special broadcast of Channel 5 newsy stuff. We'll be back at you next week, I hope.